back to the show, everybody. Check out these headlines we have here. Self-innovating blockchain, Ripple and AI. You're going to want every bit of it. We got Kathy Wood on ARK Investing. When is the deadline for their Bitcoin ETF? And with so much more on the Bitcoin ETF news, you're going to want to know it. It could turn the market around immediately. Ripple revenue and live in 40 countries. You're going to want it. Blackrock JP Morgan could ignite the next XRP bull run, says Forbes. And a $15 XRP? I got no problem with it. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow us on Twitter and YouTube for exclusive content. Right now, $1.13 trillion market cap for crypto. The market is off by 0.5% this morning. Good morning, everyone. Bitcoin, 28,300 plus at the moment. Ethereum, 1583 and change. Tether market cap is 83.7 billion, very close to the all-time high, I believe. XRP, 49 cents at the number 5 spot, off by 0.3 in the 24-hour, but up by 0.4 on the 7-day. While we're watching that, it's Miles Franklin, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you, and I've got a lot of people contacting me here. This is the place to go. You want your precious metals here. We're going to have Andy Scheckman back on the show very soon to discuss some geopolitical events that we all know are happening. And this is the time to get your hands on some physical gold right now. And I tell you, just as a reminder, 1 ounce Morgan silver rounds, only $2 over spot price. You're not finding that anywhere else. They got the same kind of prices with gold coins and bars too. Do not mess around. Click the link, or actually it's info@milesfranklin.com. But to get the best prices, you want to put dig gold in the subject box. Or tell them when you call them, and the number I've provided underneath the video, that Brad Kimes said to come on in and use the code DIGGOLD to get those best prices for yourself. No question about it. You will see. And you get to talk to a real person. Where can you do that these days? Just get the number, call them, but make sure you tell them that I sent you, because you need to have that discount. You want to get the best price. Right here, ladies and gentlemen, take a look at this. Yesterday we talked and asked the question, could Binance US be in trouble? But there was a dollar situation about saying they weren't letting customers pull dollars off. But the reality here in this email, and shout out to XRP HODL for sharing this here. Dan, we appreciate it. This is the email they sent out before this rumor got out of control. All they're doing is an update that says you need to convert to a stable coin first before withdrawal. Nobody panic. So, look, this is where we get the best out of each other in the community here. Wait a minute. How come I'm not following Dan? I had to be following Dan. He sent it to me. See, sometimes this platform they claim is free speech and nobody's being shadow banned. That is BS, ladies and gentlemen. You just witnessed where somebody, the platform had unfollowed me from XRP HODL here. I've been following. This is crazy to me what's going on. Hashtag free DAI, right? How about that? The only thing I've learned from X is that this is not the place to build a community, because you can be silenced in a moment and given no reason for it and no recourse for action to get it back. John Deaton says here in response to Jungle Inc. sharing breaking, Ferrari now accepts payments in 3 cryptos, Bitcoin, ETH, and XRP. John Deaton says XRP is a choice for crypto payments. Ask Tapjets, who filed an amicus brief in the Ripple case explaining how XRP was the most popular and most effective currency at solving a real-world problem. If you need a jet the last minute, think Uber of jets. You must pay the cost up front: pilot, flight attendant, fuel, airport fees, etc. But if it's a Friday or a weekend, banks are closed and no wire transfer is available. That's exactly right. XRP was designed to solve the Friday weekend problem, and Tapjets accepts XRP as a form of payment in 3 to 5 seconds. And that's what we know right there. Shout out to Tapjets for the amicus brief. And then there's Zha Governance game allows up to 400 stakeholders elected from the community, enterprise, infrastructure, and providers, and even in the future, governments to participate in and be rewarded for the democratic forward progress of Zha Ledger and its features. Same consensus, different governance here. This is from Zum Wallet and We Say When. Shout out to him and the entire team over there, busting their butts always. No doubt about it. And then there's this. Listen to this quick clip here.
Ripple's XRP has just received yet another bit of good news, but this time it concerns an integration with one of the biggest games on the market. So, the game in question is Roblox, and if you're unfamiliar with Roblox, it has some seriously impressive statistics around it. For instance, it boasts over 200 million monthly active users who, in just the first 3 months of 2023, spent over $700 million on in-game purchases. It is a cash-generating machine.
Absolutely it is. And you know what? Listen to this.
Ripple's XRP...
Ripple's XRP? It's not Ripple's XRP. XRP belongs to the world. John Deaton says it will be cool when XRP is only referenced as XRP instead of Ripple's XRP. To be fair, the guy Ripple does own a lot of XRP, although it is now under 50%. I don't believe Ripple had anything to do with this announcement or integration, so maybe one day the reporting will go good news for XRP and XRP holders, which is the way it should go. And in fact, Ripple only holds 6 billion, slightly over, themselves as a company. They are the steward of the escrow, which they do not hold that, right? But they do use some of that escrow release for operating funds and incentivizing businesses and companies and things of that nature, as we all know. But what's interesting to me is don't forget that, Coin Bureau is in fact, and I don't need any help, frankly, the Goldman Sachs. That's what we have here, right? Nick Puckrin. Right here is the actual owner or co-founder of, I should say, of Coin Bureau, right? Co-founder, CEO of Coin Bureau, and that's great. But he does come from Goldman Sachs. And then those are the kind of things, and I like Coin Bureau and the guy that does it. But the reality is you have to ask yourself, is it deliberate confusion when they say these things? We've dealt with a lot in this XRP community. Great question here from David Schwartz. When the U.S. Securities Exchange Commission put out, careful what you read on the internet, the best source of information about the SEC is the SEC. David Schwartz says, awesome. Does the SEC think people selling ETH on exchanges are selling securities? I'd like to hear from the best source. Fred Rispoli says, pursuant to the SEC signed filings before a federal judge in our case in SD, California here, he says, the SEC represented that it has not made a decision one way or another as to this exact question. And shout out to Fred Rispoli for forcing their hand to say that they have not made a formal decision. And then there's this here. Ripple's making their mark in the AI space, which is forecasted to have 1.3 billion plus addressable market by 2030. Let's listen to this clip here from Mark and Fanger.
The financial
Marcus.
use cases today, can you give some examples of those? And also, what regions are those being implemented in?
Yeah, so with Ripple and RippleNet, I would definitely highlight payments first and foremost. And if you look at payments and all the financial use cases individually, they're all like trillions of dollars in total addressable market. And so if you look at, hey, what has a payment transaction underneath, there's actually a lot more than you would intuitively think. And hence why Ripple honed in on payments first and foremost, found product market fit there, and basically has been scaling that business up until now. As we look further, we certainly see other areas where blockchain technology and core financial use cases can make a big difference. Things like aggregating liquidity, obviously the action of exchanging, from one form of value into another, the storage of value, as well as things like lending in the future potentially as well, where this technology can bring a lot of efficiency into the game.
Do you think AI will play a role at all in terms of DeFi for institutions?
Yeah, this is a topic, I think it's been gathering so much attention, even beyond just blockchain technology. I truly think the possibilities will be, unimaginable almost. key here is that that we can trust AI, right, as humans, and I think that goes again beyond just blockchain or finance. And so it's interesting. Blockchain technology inherently is built sort of for trust, and so I do believe there. As AI takes its own share in terms of technological revolution, that blockchain technology will play an important role to weave that trust into the interaction with AI. And there's some crazy stuff happening in the crypto world already today with tinkering with zero knowledge proof and using that as an elegant cryptographic solution to make AI trustless, so we can able to trust it, and then you can see things like self-innovating blockchains being suddenly on the menu, which is very interesting, given that the decentralized network may not be the most efficient one by design, as opposed to when you have a centralized network, somebody can call the shots and make decisions more quickly.
A self-innovating blockchain. Oh boy, the things that are coming with AI, we better brace ourselves, no doubt about it. Shout out to Mr. Man for that one here. And then there's Kathy Wood from ARK Investors going to tell us exactly what's going on with the deadline of her ETF, because she's coming first. Take a listen.
Like the SEC is going to be forced to approve a spot Bitcoin ETF. What, if any, communications have you had with the SEC about your application? Where are we in this whole thing?
Well, it was publicized and disclosed, I think it was last week, that we had responded to the SEC's request for information around our Bitcoin filing, and we responded. And that's basically all we can say. I think many people think the fact that the SEC chose to ask questions is a change in behavior. And therefore, I do think hopes are rising that or a number of Bitcoin ETFs will be approved.
Yeah, my understanding is the court now is going to issue a mandate about how to enforce their decision here to the SEC, and their SEC is going to basically follow that mandate. Everybody is assuming at this point that they'll probably approve most of the Bitcoin ETFs by the end of the year. That's a reasonable assumption at this point? They lost the court case. They chose not to appeal it at this point.
Right. And I do believe maybe the reason they're saying by the end of the year, early next year, I know our final deadline on this filing is January 10th. And so, and I think we're first in line. But as you say, a number of Bitcoin ETFs could be approved at the same time.
Well, and you know what's going to happen if they do that, right? And we talked about it here on the channel. They're talking about it here on Crypto Law, too. Shout out to John Deaton, Sam Lyman, and Scott Melkert. They're listening and they're aligning, too, in the same way that we have here on this channel. Take a quick listen.
Sam, you made the best point. Like, talking about BlackRock, Fidelity, these are huge players that are looking to get an approval of a Bitcoin spot ETF. Larry Fink was on TV yesterday and said that crypto, didn't say Bitcoin, he actually said crypto is a flight to quality alongside U.S. Treasuries and gold. And
that was the hang up for me too, right there, no doubt. Shout out to Scott. It hit him the same way. You're talking about the high ground in a unpredictable market, right? Being treasuries, U.S. Treasury bonds, gold, and crypto. And that's what Larry Fink from BlackRock said here. Something is coming. And I tell you, we know that if you're looking for high ground in crypto, you're going to be looking for legal clarity. They're going to be looking for real use case. I think they're going to be looking for companies like Ripple and assets like XRP.
Around cost, transparency, speed. We've done that really, really well, and over the last few years have scaled across 40 countries, hundreds of customers across countries, and this year we'll process close to 20 billion in value, which is tremendous.
It is tremendous. I don't even need to play the rest of the clip. Every bit of that's tremendous. And here we see Blackrock JP Morgan prepare to ignite a major XRP bull run, says Forbes. Billy Bramball here wrote this article. And basically, if we get down to it, what he says here, he basically says, and I don't have to read the whole thing to you because I've already done it, is this. Forbes senior contributor believes that Blackrock JP Morgan coming into the crypto space amid the utility linked to the traditional market. You hear that phrase? The utility linked to the traditional market would catalyze a significant rally for digital assets like XRP, Bitcoin, and Ethereum. Let's talk about that. One, Ethereum has smart contracts. Now, we all are upset about the way it came to be, right, and the free pass, but it doesn't change the fact that it works good as smart contracts, and it's very easy to launch an ERC20 token off of the network, right? I think we're all more upset about how it got to be where it is today, right? So the reality is Bitcoin will create a scarcity because if the ETFs are approved by all these massive companies like Fidelity, BlackRock, and others, then we know that they're going to have to buy up the physical asset so it can be backed by the physical digital assets, right? And be exposed with the ETF to investors who do not want to hold the physical asset, but get exposure rather to it through an ETF, which has a regulatory framework, which does protect investors to a greater degree. So that's going to create scarcity, and they're going to need to buy up a bunch of it to be able to back all these ETFs, right? And then you have XRP, which obviously, as we just saw, 40 countries live, over 20 billion so far on this year done in commercial use. This is utility. Major financial institutions will begin to realize at some point that the more they have of it, the better off they're going to be. And as we see the introduction of automated market makers, liquidity pools, and the rest of it, I think you get it, right? And that's why it's not so hard to see why these technical analysts keep seeing the tea leaves here of $5, $7, $13, $15, $25, $27 in our future. And as I have always said, it will be the fundamental news and the real action of institutions that move this needle. I am here because I'm excited about the use case utility of XRP. And I am here because I want to witness for the first time in history when XRP and other assets are driven by use case utility and not speculation. That's what I'm here for. I'm here for the hundreds of others who have already joined the Freedom Zone, and I'm asking you to join for a small fee, that we never lose contact again and start to have the real deep conversations that we can't have on other platforms like X, #FreeDAI, or YouTube, because I know I've been a victim of malicious attacks on that platform as well. You know, this is the place where we're going to discuss the things that get you banned, shadow banned, blocked, and suspended on all these other platforms. And I tell you, you look no further than what we just covered yesterday right here. Yes, that's right. TREA. Yes. #SON. You know what it is. I don't want to say it because those are the kind of things that can get you trouble on a social media platform. But we can have these conversations in here, and I tell you, boy, are we. And this is the stuff that, like I said, that really causes a problem, but not in the Freedom Zone. And I'm asking all of you to make that small contribution so we can have that sense of connection that nobody can get in between. We can always stay together as we move through this material. And today, we're going to be going over that guy's name that starts with a J and the last name starts with an E. Yeah, used to live on an island. You know who it is. We're also going to hear from the one and only whistleblower, Steven Nureyev, in the ETHgate case there and everything that's happened in that. You're going to want that and so much more, ladies and gentlemen, what it all means. We will catch you in the Freedom Zone. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. It's just my digital perspectives. I'll catch all of you on the next one.